grab a beer, and pull up a chair. Welcome to the Northwoods Beer Guy podcast. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Northwoods Beer Guy podcast. This is Mike, the Northwoods Beer Guy, and as always, I'm joined by the best co-host in the business, Jim, according to Jim at gmail.com. Hey, Jim.
Wow. That was not a very gracious introduction, Mike.
Actually, I'm looking on the table, and I should say the best co-host, because he brought some beers that I'm expecting to be extremely good, so...
Well, I sure hope they're better than what you brought last week for that.
Well,
it's
that berry,
almost as good as your Shiner box.
That berry thing was pretty bad. I'm not going to deny that. The Oktoberfest wasn't bad.
So, hey, Mike, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing
good.
You're
having a good time.
Doing good. Yeah,
wow.
Awesome. And once again, we are joined by Toby because we got big bottles. We're not even joking this week. We got big bottles.
Well, thanks for having me, but apparently you needed a big boy to help with the big bottles.
Yeah.
How many big bottles we got, Mike?
A lot. We got 6 of them.
I like it a lot.
And it's going to be crazy. So we continuing on with our barrel-aged January to go against the dry January that all the weak people do.
Don't like.
Yeah, we do our barrel age, and we decided why not visit another podcast, another brewery that we know is good, and it would be Central Waters out of Amherst, Wisconsin.
Yes.
And these are all like bomber bottles. Like
when you say
big,
bomber,
like 22 ounce.
big.
Yeah, they're big.
Yeah,
bottles.
1 pint, 6 ounces.
Yeah.
So it's like a beer in each one then.
Oh, yeah, there's a beer in each one. At least a beer in each one.
So, hey, while you're stuttering and stammering way over there,
Okay. Oh,
I happen to have some
Toby, oh, yeah, no,
questions.
you've lived through this before. His questions, he cheats like a crazy person.
He's not asking us questions, is he?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And you'll get them all right, I'll get them all wrong. He'll make sure of it. Yeah.
Actually, I've got 2 pieces of paper questions.
Here's the hard ones for you, Mike, and then I got the other ones for Toby.
So we're doing Central Waters,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yep.
And I'm just going to give you a little background on something.
Okay, perfect.
A little bit that I found on the website that a lot of people probably could go on a website and check out. But since everybody's listening to us, right?
Yep, exactly.
We got like tens and tens of people out there listening, right? Hundreds.
Well,
Didn't you say that I was the best co-host ever? So
no, some guy at Jim at gmail.com did.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you already mentioned they're from Amherst.
Yep.
And they're known for their extensive barrel aging program, being one of the first breweries in the state of Wisconsin to heavily experiment with barrel aged beers. In their strong commitment to sustainability, they utilize solar power. Yep. They're eco-friendly, being named one of the greenest breweries in Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. So not only do they make good beer, but they're also friendly to the environment. So I think that's a positive thing. So I'm not like probably as green as I probably should be, but
Sure.
I'm glad that at least we're drinking some beer that is from that.
Yep.
So, Mike, when did Central Waters make their first barrel-aged beer?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm just gonna throw out a because I have no idea.
Wait.
Can
Yeah.
you give me a hint? Does it start with a 1 or a 2?
2.
I'm guessing a 2.
Right. So,
Okay.
So then you're going to go first.
I'm gonna say
Come on.
2007.
Close. So close. All right, Toby, what do you think?
I think it was a little bit before that, Mike. They've been around for a while. They think a little over 20 years. I'm going to probably guess like 2001.
Ding, 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 ding.
You know the crazy thing is I saw him set that answer sheet down.
Wow, Toby got it right. Toby, 100
cheats,
points.
and you fell right in there.
Mike.
At some point, you're gonna have to answer for that.
Mike,
Minus 100.
Mike, our viewers are listening to us digitally. There's no visual.
I just told you he put the answer sheet in front of Toby again.
There is no answer sheet.
You can't make things up.
Yeah, there is no answer sheet. I carry my toolbox up here, buddy.
Your toolbox is up there, all right, and it ain't very big. I can tell you that.
Well, let's try our first.
I'm so upset right now.
Well, okay, you're behind. So
yeah, all right.
Catch up.
So
Not the stuff you put in your hammer.
The first
either.
big bottle that we're going to open is Milwaukee 2. Now, they opened a brewery their main one is in Amherst, and then they opened a second. Now, is it a brewery or is it like a tap room, Jim? Do you know?
Well, so
The one in Milwaukee.
We just went up there before Christmas
to
Amherst.
Okay.
And we were going to get a barrel-aged beer that they just released, but it was only released in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I don't know if I haven't really asked them, but I'm assuming
so it must be a brewery.
It must be totally separate, and they must do their own barrel aging down there.
Because I have seen, I think, well, of course, last year was like the first year they did it, but they had some that they released in Amherst, and then they had others in Milwaukee. So I was just wondering, I didn't know if they brewed them all in the same place or not. So anyway, so this one.
All right, so the bottom one down there.
Milwaukee 2.
Yep.
Imperial Cream Stout, Malted Milk Ball, aged in Great Lakes Distilling bourbon and rye barrels. And it is a measly 12.2% ABV.
Yoza.
And it says, last year's Milwaukee 1 Imperial Cream Stout, brewed with Briess, B-R-I-E-S-S, Briess malted milk powder and malted balls aged in Great Lakes Distillery, bourbon barrels and rye barrels for 1 year. Cheers to 2 years.
Okay.
So this is the same as last year, except it aged for another year.
Another year.
So this one was aged in those barrels for 2 years.
So this is the malted
milk ball aged in Great Lakes Distilling bourbon and rye barrels in 12.2%. I do kind of get
I taste something, the powdery.
almost like a little bit of a chocolatey. Mm-hmm. I guess I wouldn't necessarily say that it was malted milk balls, or I wouldn't think that, but it's definitely a chocolatey flavor. It's not bad. 12.2% drinks pretty smooth.
I mean, there's no bourbon burn, but I like that powdery flavor kind of sticks in my mouth.
Kind of like some of the peanut butter, like that powdered peanut butter kind of.
Yep.
But it's not peanut butter, but it's like the malted milk.
It's different. I mean,
interesting. I mean, if somebody said, "Hey, do you want to drink this bottle for me?" Yeah, okay, we could do that. But it does have a little,
because we've had some other beers that had malted milk balls and were really, really good. Mm-hmm. This one, I don't know if it's really, really good.
Yeah, those other ones weren't aged in rye barrels, though.
No, they were not.
And this is bourbon and rye, so you do get a little bit of that peppery, kind of that rye character. But I don't know, it's definitely got a kind of a, I don't know how do you want to describe it, almost like a dark aftertaste. You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying? I don't know how to also describe it.
Yeah, last week I mentioned that there weren't a lot that I've had in rye barrels, so this is one of the few that's out there in rye barrels. I think Central Waters has a couple that way, but rye whiskey is a little different. And it does give a little different flavor to it. So it's like you said, would I drink it? Absolutely. But is it got the great smooth flavor that some of their beers have? Probably not. So
I almost hate to say it, guys, but would I say this is one of their better barrel-aged beers? I don't know. To me, it's got a little bit of a different flavor, kind of a different. I think the farther down this list we go, we're going to get better.
Right.
I think. It's not bad. I would take a bottle of it if somebody had it and said, I don't want this, you want it? Yes, I would. But it definitely has a different flavor to me.
I guess for me, and I guess, just talking out loud, I know what a malted milk ball tastes like. I don't taste that.
I agree with you.
I taste something powdery that's close, but I don't taste the malted milk ball. The bourbon, I don't get a big bourbon flavor. The bourbon, we always set the pedestal pretty high with Bourbon County. I don't really taste that either. So it's kind of like, oh hum, almost.
Right.
It's not like, wow. I don't get that wow flavor right off the bat, like a lot of the Central Waters.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm. So, Toby, you're our guest. What are you thinking on a score? Ooh. Put you on the spot right off the bat.
Yeah. Wow.
Kind of takes your words away, huh?
Yeah, it does. I'm trying to think. I did 5-point scale, 2 5s, average. Is this average? Is it above average? Is it below average? I think we're I'm personally a little biased. Central Waters is good, so I think most of their beers are above average. Do I think it's anything great? I don't. So I'm going to go 2 6.
Wow.
Mike?
I'm not quite that low on it, but I do agree with you. I don't think this is one of their, what I was expecting a lot more.
Yes.
I don't know if, I don't remember like the Milwaukee ones from last year. It's as a frame of reference. So I don't know if it's how they do it there or what, but I'm going like a 3. When I think barrel aged, big ABV stouts in the Central Waters, I was expecting a lot more.
Right.
And
yes,
it's okay, but it was definitely lacking for me. And when you had mentioned about the powdered peanut butter that we've had in beers, I totally get that powdered milk chocolate kind of whatever of a milk ball.
Right.
And it just, I think they could have done a lot more to really make it better, in my opinion.
I think I was going to say that 3.02, Mike. I mean, I'm right. We set the bar high with Bourbon County, and then I think we also set the bar just as high for Central Waters.
Yes. Yep.
So if it's not up to their normal standards, that's where I'm rating it against. I guess I'm kind of guilty of not rating against all other bourbon barrel beers. I'm rating against themselves. And by their own standards, I don't think this is up to par.
Yep.
I think this is below average.
So you want a 3.0?
I want a 3.0.
Well, yeah.
And even though it's a double
that's-
digit,
yeah.
that's why, I mean, this should be
smooth. It drinks smooth, but just the flavor is kind of, for them, I don't think it's one of their better ones.
Right. I drink it, but
Yeah.
it's
I was
not
gonna
one.
say.
It's not one I'm going to brag about from Central Waters.
Correct.
So, talking about bragging, since we got
Awesome.
we got points here that Toby's in the lead, 100 to Mike's negative 100.
Okay, good. Yep.
Here's a funny story about Central Waters. Don't laugh yet. So the first bourbon barrels that Central Waters used were acquired from a close by distillery. Which distillery?
A close by distillery.
Yep, and they were only $25 a piece at the time.
And this would have been in 2001.
Yeah, since Toby got that answer correct.
Man, because the last time I was there in Plover, there is a distillery there, and it's a Great Northern Distillery or something. But that was like new.
Okay. Is that your answer?
No, I'm just talking. I'm talking out loud as I'm trying to.
Okay,
But
all right.
see, I don't know what distilleries are close to Amherst other than that one. And like I said, that's very new. Boy, I don't know. I'm not even going to guess because I'm not even going to be close. I don't know. Toby, why don't you go?
So I think if I recall correctly, they actually, Central Waters started in Junction City when they first started brewing in like 96 or 97, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think they got their first barrels from Buffalo Trace.
Oh,
I think I'm gonna say the same thing as Toby.
So Toby has now 500 points. And Mike, since he didn't answer, is minus 200. And the funny story is that they rented a truck. They gave a guy cash in an envelope and said, "Go to Kentucky and find us these barrels." And they just sent the guy on a mission with cash and didn't know what to expect. And they came back with Buffalo Trace barrels.
And they got it for $25 a barrel.
And now they're 190.
I was going to say, yeah, you can't,
almost $200.
You can't get them for anywhere remotely close to that anymore.
And I think that's telling of when they started this, you know, because there weren't a lot of bourbon barrel type beers, and so it's they got onto something early, you know. And they were only open a couple of years before they decided to go this route. So
see, that's where we've talked about it before, where they've done it a long time, and they have the funds, I guess you could say, to have a beer sitting in a barrel for multiple years. Where when you first get into it now, you can't do that, you know. Well, some distilleries can't have their whiskey in a barrel for very long, you know. So yeah, so it is a testament to them that they've done it for a long time and they know what they're doing and they do it right.
So then your bonus question is,
oh boy,
both of the owners graduated together from college. Which college?
Toby, why don't you answer this one first?
Should be pretty easy, Toby.
I'm going to go with Stevens Point.
I'll say the same.
Toby's right. 1,000 points for Toby.
You let me answer first, Mike.
I said the same thing.
But he didn't even look at the paper.
You showed him the last one. He probably read ahead.
So Mike is now down 500.
Why did I get it wrong? I said the same thing.
Because you can't copy your partner.
Even though it's the right answer. Yeah. I'm so mad I need another drink.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's talk about the next one.
So Toby, you want to read the next one there?
So this is the Central Waters 26th Anniversary Series Imperial Stout with raspberries and vanilla.
Oh, there's a lot to say in that one.
Yeah, I think Mike kind of summed it up from what we know. It's an Imperial Stout, raspberry and vanilla. Their 26th anniversary, which, Mike, I'm just going to let you know that I kind of looked at that when Jim was asking that question about how long they've been around. I use my context clues.
You know, lightning can strike in the basement too. You know that, right? And I'm just going to tell you this: when I cracked open took the cap off this bottle, I got a strong whiff of raspberry. So it should be interesting to see if it's
raspberry and
just
vanilla.
how strong a flavor it is. You know, because we've had some raspberry, like that raspberry hibiscus dragon's milk, had a lot of raspberry.
Hibiscus, huh?
And this one, I mean,
is that Ron's favorite flavor?
Yeah. Oh, that's coriander.
Oh, coriander. There we go.
That's what sets him off is coriander.
All right, so we should be getting
I can smell the raspberries.
Yes,
raspberries and vanilla.
I don't smell vanilla. I smell raspberry for sure. All right. Well, here we go.
Well, it's dark in color, right? Mm-hmm. Ooh, there's raspberry.
I'm not sure. I don't know if I get any vanilla in it. That raspberry overpowers.
There's a lot of raspberry.
Right. But we've had like that dragon's milk, the raspberry hibiscus dragon's milk was way stronger raspberry than this is.
The finish, and when I say finish, it's in your it's out of my mouth for a while, but probably 5 seconds later, there's a vanilla finish to it. It's very subtle, very smooth, but the 12.7% drinks very, very smooth.
Very smooth. I give them that.
I mean, I don't taste any burn. There's no burn with the barrel.
And that, like I said, the raspberry is definitely pronounced, but it's not like, oh my gosh. You know what I mean? It's like way too much. It's not that at all.
Yeah. For me, I'm, I guess, taking not aback, but that raspberry is just, I mean, like my mouth now is just only tasting raspberry.
Right.
There's nothing else, no matter if I warm up the beer a little bit. I'm not getting any other, I wish they would have just put a little bit more either vanilla or a little more aged a little bit longer. It's, disappointing because I like vanilla. I mean, we've had some very good, absurd vanilla flavors.
But that one was 100% vanilla, so, and that was extremely good.
Amazing.
Probably the best vanilla beer we've had. But like I said, this one, I don't really taste much vanilla either, Jim. I really do get a lot of raspberry. It's still very good. I mean, what do you think, Toby? I think it's good.
It is good. I think, after a few sips here and kind of letting it linger, I get a little bit of a bourbon burn off of this one. Not as it goes down at all, just kind of on my tongue. The average Arnie probably wouldn't like this.
Huh.
But
well, we don't know what kind of barrels they used.
Right,
I was just looking. I did not see.
Okay, because it seems like if they use a big brand name, they call it out. So this one maybe they had something else. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, I don't mind. Again, if somebody goes, "Hey, Mike, you want this bottle?" You betcha, I'll take that bottle. But again, for Essential Waters, where we've had them at, it's been it's a little bit
not as good,
not quite as what I was expecting, but I still like it because I do like the raspberry, but
yes.
I wish there was a little bit more vanilla.
So, do you want to start first in your score?
Yeah, I do like this one better than I like that first one.
Okay,
I'm gonna go like a 3.4.
Ooh. Oh wow!
On it, I like it. I do wish it had more vanilla flavor, even if on the finish. I think that would have really improved it.
I think that would mellow out that bite from the raspberry.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I do like the flavor better on this one than I did the first one.
Yep.
Toby, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I'm still not above a 3 on it. I was going 2.9 myself.
Oh, you're still not a fan yet.
Yeah, I'm not quite there on these two.
All right. Well, I think it was Mike. I like this one a little bit better than that first one. That first one just kind of turned me off. I'm going to go with 3.2. The raspberry just kind of overpowered me a little bit. I wish it was not as over the top raspberry. That vanilla, I think would have. I think it would have brought that raspberry flavor.
I think you're right. It would have just smoothed it out a little bit more. And maybe the raspberry, because vanilla is somewhat of a how do you say it? Like the flavor of it is a little lower, a little less, not as pronounced. Where the raspberry is really strong.
Yes.
So maybe they did have a bunch in, but the raspberry just kind of overpowered it. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just trying to guess.
So not to cut you off, but I got some questions. I got.
Jeez. Okay.
So shortly after people hear this episode, there is a huge event going on at Central Waters. What is it?
It's going to be their 27th anniversary.
Okay, yeah, there was no points for that one. that was a good guess, though.
That's very hurtful right there.
Yeah, so that's a good guess,
Man.
though. But they're also releasing 227 variants.
Okay.
So hopefully maybe somebody can get us a couple of those.
If we know somebody that their daughter goes to school over there, maybe, yeah.
Because it looks like it's an Imperial Stout aged for 2 years in bourbon barrels. Don't know what kind.
Yeah.
And then an Imperial Stout aged for 2 years in bourbon barrels with Marionberry.
Wasn't he the mayor of Chicago?
No, L.A.
Or L.A., one of those.
And vanilla.
Okay.
So I have never heard of Marionberry.
No.
I don't know what that is.
Interesting.
So those two beers will be released on the 25th of January.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So
next week.
No, it should be right after this
2 weeks.
episode.
No, yeah, tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, should be released tomorrow.
Yeah.
So the anniversary party. So if you're available and you can go up there, good guess for Mike. I didn't think you would know that, but too bad there wasn't any points for that.
Isn't that coincidental that I get it right and there's no points allowed on that?
Glad you got a lot of points, Mike.
Yeah.
So here is your next question that is worth a lot of points.
Okay.
True or wait. Here's.
Oh, he's like, hold on.
Okay, by U.S. law.
Okay.
How many times can a barrel be used for bourbon?
Once.
Toby?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yep. So we got it right. Toby got 1,000 on that.
And how many points did I lose?
Mike got 10 points.
How come I got 10 and he got 1,000?
the way he said it. See, he thought about it, came up with the right
He was
answer.
very thoughtful in
Yes.
his...
I could tell he was thinking really hard.
Oh,
Wanted to have an accurate answer.
now I know that email came from Jim.
All right, so here we go.
I suspected, but... All
True
right.
or false?
Oh, we got another question. Okay.
True or false?
Yes, sir.
True bourbon can only be distilled in Kentucky.
You know, that's a good question because I know they like to say it's true, but there's other places. Now, what do they consider true bourbon?
That's your definition, buddy.
See,
It's got to just relate to what I got on my
I'm
paper.
going to say true, even though it's probably false, because there's other distilleries that make bourbon all over the country, but it's not in Kentucky. But I know they had said before that in the past, to be true, it had to be in Kentucky, so I'm going to say true.
Okay, all right.
I think this is a trick question, Mike,
I do too.
because it's true bourbon, so you assume the answer is true, but I think it's false. I think it doesn't have to be just Kentucky.
That's because you saw the answer.
Ding, 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 ding.
And
Toby's
you're
right.
you're in cahoots with Jim, and I'm so upset right now. But no,
Toby-
that is a good question because at one point that was what they always
Yep,
said.
and I think people believe
Do you
that.
want what
but
the...
it-
Yeah, if
what
you
it found
yeah.
out? So it said, bourbon may be produced anywhere in the U.S. where it is legal to distill spirits.
Okay.
But most brands are produced in Kentucky,
Okay. Yep.
where bourbon production has a strong historical association. So it's because people have heard of it from Kentucky. That's why they think.
Yep. And it's tied into that.
Right.
Yeah.
So bourbon sold in the U.S., here we go, must be produced within the United States.
Okay. Oh, really? So you can't have
From overseas, there's no overseas bourbon.
bourbon for okay.
At least 51%
51% corn. Yep.
stored in a new container of charred oak.
Yep.
And distilled to no more than 160 proof.
Really? Huh.
See, I didn't ask you those quick, but Toby got those right too. So I'm going to give him a bonus. I'm going to give him a star for that.
Wow. I was okay.
Toby, good job. You're like
Honestly,
snacking these out of the park.
honestly, Toby, I don't even know why I try to answer these questions anymore.
Well, there's always a right and wrong, Mike.
Yeah.
Yes,
And you're usually wrong.
And the
Mike.
wrong usually starts with Jim over in that area.
What?
Because he makes sure that I get them wrong. And it's
No, but they're easy
one of
questions.
these days when you hear that I snap, you'll know who pushed me over the edge.
But these are such easy questions.
Well, that one was I should have got it right, but I yeah. Anyway, okay, let's go. I'm thirsty. I want
I am
to
too.
All right,
A lot
so
of
what do we
talk.
got next?
So this one is the 26th anniversary series.
Okay.
Aged 35 months in Buffalo Trace rye barrels.
Nice.
13.3%.
We're stepping it up.
Stepping it up. And what they, Toby, do you want to read the description and I can pour us a beer?
Yeah, why don't you do that? So, at Central Waters does like their rye whiskey barrels, as I'm being reminded. So they took their Powerhouse base beer blend from their anniversary series and aged it in Buffalo Trace rye whiskey barrels for 35 months. Now, the subtleness of these barrels is spectacular, as Buffalo Trace is rumored to use less rye in their mash than other rye whiskeys on the market.
Really?
Wow.
So they knew, Central Waters, right away which beer to put them in. The slight sweetness of the stout base combined with the subtle spiciness of rye whiskey made a beer worthy of this series.
Nice.
So
like I said before, that last one, they didn't say what the barrel was. This one, they called it out. So,
That's good. I mean, that's,
oh yeah, Buffalo Trace. Now, I don't know. Have you guys had their rye whiskey? The Buffalo Trace rye? Have you had that?
I have not.
I don't think I have either.
I think one of our friends has some Buffalo Trace that we need to
the
into.
rye.
Yes.
You
Yep.
think? Because that would be another
I
one
think
we
so.
could find out, to see what that actually tastes like outside of this.
Oh, you don't want to do a Buffalo Trace tasting?
Oh, we could, but again, I'm just saying this is one of those that it'd be interesting. I don't know what their rye tastes like, so it'll be interesting to see what this tastes like compared to
And how long was this aged again?
35 months, so almost 3 years.
Which is a month shy of 3 years.
Yeah, so Toby gets 100 points and I get minus 700 because I said almost 3 years.
Boy, it smells good.
You can
Smells
smell,
fantastic.
You can smell the.
This one, I think we're starting to get into some more bourbon aged.
Jim, it just brings me back to when we did the Dangerous Man.
Yep.
They didn't age it long enough.
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm just going to give you a hint. I jumped above 3.
Ooh.
That's,
Wow.
I'm safely above 3 myself.
That's
good.
This is getting back to the Central Waters that we know and
Yes.
love. So
wow.
that's good.
And there's no burn.
No.
I mean, the bourbon flavor comes through.
trying to-
really, really good. Wow.
I don't really get I'm trying to see on the finish if you get like a little bit of a peppery rye type finish to it, but it's
I think
very,
there's just a little bit, but it's good.
Very good.
You know,
It's
not
balanced
bad.
the right way.
Yes.
It's put in there. Wow.
That's good.
This is the kind of beer I think we're accustomed to tasting from Central Waters.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the first two, not bad.
This
but
one, if they did the first one in Milwaukee, maybe they're still
little
maybe they're doing a little more experimental things, or I don't know. The raspberry one, again, I didn't mind it, but it wasn't like their normal. But now this one, this is what I was expecting. This is what I expect. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the wheelhouse of what they do.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Good call, Toby. Yes, very much so.
Yeah, that one is
Wow.
Yeah.
really.
What are your thoughts, Toby?
Well, Jim's up, I think.
Jim, what are your thoughts? Yeah, that's a good call.
So I like this one. I mean, I guess I'm tipping my hand. I like this one.
I like it a lot.
And I like it a lot.
I was going to say, who's going to be the first one? I was going to say it, but...
Yeah.
So this is what I've been accustomed to Central Waters bourbon barrel aging process. This is like right up to par. There is absolutely nothing I could say that's bad about this. I would say I might be sitting in the corner with this beer a little bit later. You guys might not be able to taste this one.
That's only if I leave you in.
I was going to say, where did Toby go?
This is really good. This is back where I'm accustomed to. I'm going 4.1.
Ooh, he jumped up there. Toby, what do
All
you
right,
think?
I'm putting my chips all in the middle now. boys.
He's going all in.
So I said I'm definitely over 3. I was at a 4. I mean, this is good stuff, and I enjoy it.
I'm with you. I'm going to say a 4.0. I think this is really good. Very good flavor, very smooth. I think a person that's never had a barrel-aged beer before, they could drink this because you don't get that burn.
Right.
You know, and I know a lot of people might say, oh, this super, like a heavy flavor, but that's, the three of us like that.
Right.
But I think this is extremely good.
But I mean, Mike, when you say heavy, I
There's
mean,
a
I don't
lot of flavor.
Right. Heavy flavor, not a heavy drinking.
No, right.
I think it's smooth. This is. This is good. If somebody says I'm going to have a bottle of this, I'm going to give me 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
exactly.
This is really good.
Very much so.
Wow.
Oh, awesome.
Now I got to go back to the.
All right. Well, thanks, Toby, for coming. Jim's questions are done, and
All right, I'll just take the extra
last
beer.
one and go.
So we do have a couple other questions.
All right.
I know we've been talking Central Waters, and I know now we're in the wheelhouse of their good beer.
Yes.
But which American brewery was the first to do bourbon barrel beers?
Okay. Have we heard of this brewery before? Have I heard of it? Because Toby may have seen the answer to your question already. Have I heard of this brewery before?
You may not have.
Okay, so it's hard to guess what the answer is if I may not have ever heard of them.
Right.
Are they still in business?
Possibly.
He's just not helping me.
Come on, buddy.
Who else?
I'm
I'm just gonna say because he doesn't know if I'm just gonna go for the obvious one that Goose Island. I'm gonna say, even though I know that's wrong.
You're
but-
close. Not quite there though. Toby, what's your guess?
I'm just going to say with confidence, I think it's Goose Island.
Oh, there it is. That's the right answer.
What?
Yeah.
Confidence, Mike. You got to have some confidence, Mike.
Toby gets the points for that one. Good answer, Toby.
I'm so mad. I'm gonna drink more beer.
That's
It was Goose Island.
It is Goose Island.
Well, then I should get at least 1 point for getting it right.
yeah. You did. You got 1 point.
Okay, nice. And Toby
You got
got
1,000.
Oh, wow! That confidence works for you.
We got 2 more.
You got to give me
questions.
credit that I got that.
Hey,
Not so much.
but when you think about how often you guys talk about it and the beers that you've
we've
shared
had
with me.
so many barrel aged. It's like I didn't know if there was going to be something just totally obscure brewery, that I
That's
never
why I
heard
couldn't
of.
give you all those hints because Toby
Right.
didn't get those hints.
Right.
Okay,
See, I'm
okay,
trying to make
whatever.
the playing field level.
No problem.
So what's the next beer, Mike?
The next beer is from Central Waters,
Central Waters.
and it's another 26.
Which one is this?
Oh. So now this last one was aged 35 months.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's a pretty long time, right?
Almost 3 years.
Almost 1 month shy of 3 years.
1 month.
How about let's ante it up a little bit, okay? Let's say this is their 26th anniversary series, aged 73 months.
Mike, how many years is that?
That's 1 month over 6 years.
Wow, are you a math major?
73 months in Heaven Hill barrels. 13.8% ABV. So they sat on this one for over 6 years.
6 years just letting it age.
Letting it age in these barrels.
Wow.
Toby, if you'd like to read some, I will crack this open.
All right, so this is obviously the longest aged stout from last year's series.
That is crazy.
Wow.
And they covert the barrels because of the strong bourbon flavor. So they like the strong bourbon flavor that the Heaven Hills barrels contain. And then they extract that from them with less oak characteristics than usual.
Okay.
And that allows for a much longer aging. So I guess something I didn't realize with the Heaven Hill barrels.
That's cool.
So this is the longest aged stout that they've ever had in oak, just over the 6 years like we mentioned. And aging beer for that amount of time helps pick up the strong bourbon character, but allows the beer itself to extract flavors from the oak, creating a finely balanced sweet and oaky treat. And they can't wait to share it with us. So I'm super excited.
Have you guys had Heaven Hill bourbon before?
Yes.
Because remember, Jim, we had the Dangerous Man. One of theirs, the one bourbon barrel they had was Heaven Hill. Remember?
Was it really?
But they aged theirs 8 months.
8 months.
Not 73 months.
Oh.
So this is going to be a tremendous comparison.
Yes.
Because their whole thing, Toby, all their beers were aged 8 months.
Okay.
Across the board.
Across the board in their barrel aged series. And I just they didn't do it long enough.
No.
There was no flavor.
Right. So let's.
I don't think I personally had any bourbon from Heaven Hill. I haven't tasted it, so I don't know what
you.
I have.
Okay.
Right. So you're gonna be our cornerstone.
Kind of give us an idea. Well, if you remember, but
That's
at least
this is like you tasted yesterday, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Boy, this you can smell.
The smell of this is fantastic.
Wow, it smells. The
Based
aroma.
off of smell alone, I'm
Aroma's
in
good.
the upper already.
That is smooth.
Wow, that's good. 73 months is right there.
That's crazy.
So how as a brewmaster, do you know
they forgot?
72
They forgot what was in the barrel.
at 72 months, it's like this, and then 73 months is right.
No,
I think what happened is they had a change in staffing. Someone found this barrel 6 months or 6 years later and was like, "Oh, we should check into this."
I think
by the time they figured it out, it was 73 months,
It was in the corner, and they moved someone. Wait a minute, what's in there?
and it was so good they decided to do more.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
that's
there's no burn.
No. No, that's pretty smooth.
The bourbon flavor is really well balanced, really very smooth.
And I think what's unique with Central Waters is they're definitely in a wheelhouse where they all kind of taste the same, but there's some subtle differences between them, and they're so good.
Yeah.
Wow, it's
pretty crazy.
So I'm trying to come up with not a negative, but something maybe they could enhance.
Okay.
And I think Toby was like knocking on the door to it. Since they are so close in flavor, maybe, adding like a little bit more vanilla or a little bit a different chocolate, just so that, it stands. Because, for the average beer drinker, the difference between a Buffalo Trace
And
bourbon,
Hill, people wouldn't know.
you're not going to really know it. So you're tasting something in bourbon. But, the beer, I think, I don't know, am I talking weird?
No, I agree. I think you're right that your average person, because really, even for us, you can tell the difference between the rye and the Heaven Hill.
Yep.
But for a person that's not into bourbon, I don't think they may not be able to pick it up as easy. The difference.
But I think those flavors like Bourbon County does.
Yeah.
Like, they put those
different. Yeah, they have several different flavors.
And they make and it really stands out in their beers. And I think that Central Waters could do the same thing. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, the next one will do just what you said.
Okay. Well,
So just hold your horses.
all right. Well, so who was first on the scoring?
I
Probably me, right?
I think Toby is.
All right. Well,
Gosh, I really, really like this. I don't want to put myself in a corner because I know we got a couple more here, but I'm at a 4-4 on this one.
Wow,
I really like
you're up
this.
there.
Yeah, I am.
You're up
going
there.
up there.
I like this one.
So not to cut you off, Mike, but this might potentially be then in your running for 2025 Beer of the Year.
Well, once we get done with the
As
other
of
two.
right now, it could be.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's that good for you.
For me, it is.
Like I
Okay.
said,
all
once
right.
we get done, we can.
Yep.
Because there's a couple of them so far that could be in the running.
Okay.
You know,
I just wanted to throw it
'cause,
out there.
yeah,
Think about it.
Yeah, we're making sure our list this year is a little more
Inclusive.
inclusive. We had to go back through. Jim actually took the time to re-listen to some podcasts from last year, for last week's episode, to hear what we talked on some of those beers. So we're doing a little better note keeping this year. So
What do you think, Mike?
I do like this. I'm going to go a 4 point. What did I do the last one? I'm going to go 4.1. I do think it's a little bit better than that one. I think it's super smooth. That 73 months is just crazy to me. And I'll have a little bit more of that one after when we get done. But it's very good flavor, and I think they did a good job.
Yeah, and I'm going to say a 4.3, and I think this might actually, if they could have put like a little bit of that vanilla that we had in the Bourbon County, this might be 4.8, 4.9.
Oh.
It might be right up. I mean, if they had that vanilla,
Wow.
I mean, because this is smooth for
It's very good. Super
for
smooth.
73 months being aged.
I've
that's
never heard of a
unbelievable.
beer. I've never heard of a beer being aged that long. That's crazy.
You know, and some of the writing that we have says it's the longest aged stouts that they've released in their previous series. Makes me wonder like which ones that they choose to put in, because I think that probably matters.
Right.
Well, and then you think about it. If this is 73 months, what's the next one going to be? You know what I mean?
Right.
They probably got something else going that they'll age in a year, or say release in a year or two that could be even
right, because we don't know,
longer,
like,
you know?
tomorrow, we don't know how long those beers have been aged.
Right. Yep.
So there could be an 85 month coming out.
Yeah, who knows?
All right,
But
so-
I will guarantee we'll try them.
All right, so
Absolutely.
one more question for you.
Okay.
What was the first type of bourbon barrel that Goose Island, Bourbon County used?
What type? What do you mean by type?
So there was a distillery.
Oh, what brand?
Yes.
Ooh.
And it was really close by them.
Why don't you go first, Toby?
No, we want you to go first.
Yeah, because you're showing them the answer.
No.
I just saw you.
No, I was
What's
showing them the time.
What's close to Chicago? Well, okay. Are they going to say, ooh, Kentucky's close to Chicago? Boy, I'm going to say Buffalo Trace.
Ooh, close. So close. Toby?
So, you know, this is one of those that what's close. I think you were kind of hitting on the head there, Mike. You know, Kentucky, probably the closest that they had. And I just have to think back to some of the original, the first distilleries we think
I'm going
of.
to stop you for a second. I love how you're trying to act like you're thinking through this after you already saw the answer from Jim. It warms my heart to see you coming. I really appreciate that. So continue.
No, he hasn't seen it. I showed him
Oh,
something.
okay. Go back to it.
You know, I appreciate you saying that, but I mean, I'm just going on my heartstrings right now.
Right, yeah.
Because
I think-
my dad was a big Jim Beam fan. So I'm just going to throw out Jim Beam because of how I feel.
You know,
In honor of my dad.
Yeah, they're down there too. Yep.
Yes.
Jim Beam.
Toby, you are correct.
You
are.
You are the bourbon master. I have to shake your hand. You are the bourbon master.
See? Ding, 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 ding.
You know, it's
ding.
funny when Susie and I we were down in Louisville when we took Callie down there for AAU basketball. It was the second year we were down there. It was right after, I think it was it Jim Beam that they had the big fire in one of their rick houses.
One house. Yeah.
One house.
One house,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it was just like, I mean, that was huge news down there.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. And if you ever get a chance to go to the Louisville area, you got to make sure to do their bourbon trail down there because, oh my gosh, we did a tour of Bullet down there, and that was really cool. And the thing I still remember is all the trees and the buildings all had kind of like a really dark, it was like a dark color, you know what I mean? Like a black coating on them. And we're like, well, what's that? Well, that's the angel share. I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, that's the angel. That's what evaporates out of the barrels. That's the angel share. We're like, okay, but it covers the trees, the bark of the trees and the buildings and all that. And they said, yep. And of course, then, was it Jim Beam or Jack, or one of them had the devil's cut.
Yep.
And that's what they somehow get it out of the wood from the barrel. So the angel share is what evaporates. The devil's cut is still in the wood.
Oh, so you still got the question wrong. I'll just to clarify.
So no matter what I say.
Yeah, thanks for all that. I don't know what all that talking was about. I kind of lost
I
track
noticed
there.
you kind of glazed your eyes over.
But Toby got the question correct.
Okay, good.
Jim Beam, in honor of his father, is
Nice.
correct. And you got a -1,000 because you rambled down there. I don't know. I'm not sure where we were going.
Every sentence I said, he was taking another 100 points off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's. Can we swing it back around here to get us a
We're
beer?
going to go another beer.
Yeah, I don't know. I lost track.
Are we doing Central Waters?
Yeah, we're
Holy-
still in Central Waters.
All right, can we bring it back to reality here?
Yeah. I can do that for
All
you.
right. All right, here we go.
The
What
next
we got?
one we have is Black Gold.
Black Gold.
It's Black Gold Red Dawn.
Wasn't there a movie?
There was Red Dawn. Very good movie.
Yes.
Patrick Swayze. Yeah.
That was before you were born.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Oh,
Jim was in his prime. Actually, he was past his prime by the time that came out.
Right.
But
Wow.
this is an Imperial Stout with honey. Oh, boy.
what do we got? What's
Honey.
going on?
Honey. You know my thoughts
you
on
calling
honey,
me honey?
beer. No, usually honey beers scare me because I think they got a weird taste. But we'll see how this is.
All right.
This is an Imperial Stout with honey and habanero peppers.
Oh, no, I don't like
Now
that.
you have my attention.
I don't like habanero.
I think this is going to be good.
I think it's a good balance between honey.
Sweetness.
habanero.
this is not
this,
my wheelhouse.
Oh, this is going to be probably amazing. 13.85%.
Ooh.
Toby, why don't you crack the? You do the. Nah, you just read it. You
All
read
right,
good.
I'll keep reading here.
crack her open.
So this Black Gold is one of Central Water's most limited and highly sought after beers,
Wow.
and consistently ranks as one of the top rated beers in Wisconsin. Every year's release happens in conjunction with the River Run, which
So they've
start.
heard this before. I've never even heard of this one.
I've never
before.
heard of it.
I don't think I have either.
Huh.
Wait, Toby, did you do that river run last year?
Not a whole lot of running I do, but
You were on the river.
I might have been. Yeah,
After you saw
I might
the
have
river.
watched the River Run.
You saw the river.
All right.
So that starts and ends at the brewery in Amherst. So usually I start at one side of the bar and go to the other.
Okay, good.
That's
That
the
was your run.
Yes.
All right. All right.
So the bottles of this bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Stout get released at the brewery every October, and with every year's batch being a different recipe than the last.
Okay.
So this is, on a side note, the River Run is one of the most successful annual fundraisers held locally at Central Waters Brewery. It's usually the second Saturday in October, and they welcome about 1,500 runners and walkers to join a 5-mile or 2-mile race to help funds for the Jensen Community Center. So,
and you're one of the 1,500 then, Toby.
well, you know, the Central Waters is doing a good thing here. They contribute back into the community, which is awesome. And again, my run is a little shorter.
Well, you
than the rest,
probably
but-
do like 2 miles back and forth
Right.
from the bar.
I feel like if I support them in the bar area,
Yeah.
that goes to the
Yeah.
same cause.
So you're not out there doing the actual marathon thing.
Now it does say that the honey is from Wisconsin as well, so it's like a locally produced honey as well.
There is honey, huh?
Yep. I don't really smell.
I smell something hot.
So this has much less of a aroma than a couple of those other ones.
For sure. I agree with you. 100%.
You know, and I mean, it's a 13.85, so it's still high in alcohol content.
So do we know if this is barrel aged or is this just an Imperial Stout with?
Why don't you take a drink?
Oh,
There's
Holy-
some heat there.
Oh.
Wow.
wow!
That is that's pretty good.
Whoa, that's hot.
So, folks, there's no lying. There's habanero peppers. I can't even say it. Habanero peppers in that.
Now I'm thankful for the honey because there's a sweetness to there.
Yes.
But that initial
That's
taste,
like
I was
the ghost pepper.
That's
stronger?
they made the ghost pepper one too. The
Did they?
Space Ghost, yeah.
They made Space Ghost?
Yeah. Central Waters made Space Ghost. This
Wasn't that a cartoon?
yes, it was.
Years
But
ago?
A number of years ago, I had bought a bottle. They made a stout like this with ghost peppers, and I brought it on New Year's Eve. And Jim had a taster glass about this much, and then I had the rest of the bottle, and it had a burn to it. It was a little bit hotter than this, not too bad. There's a lot of pepper burn in
Yeah,
this one.
there's some heat to this for sure.
This is not a regular habanero.
Oh, I think it is.
So, I, to answer your question, is it a bourbon barrel? I think it is, but the peppers really take that away.
Right here, bottles of this bourbon barrel aged Imperial
Yeah.
Stout. get
Oh, is
released.
it really?
Yeah.
Every October.
Wow,
We don't know what
that-
kind of barrel it is.
No, they
though.
did not call out the bourbon.
So was this one of those where they had a barrel open and back? One of the guys was walking through with some peppers and accidentally tripped, put it in the barrel, and they decided to run with it.
Boy, I tell you, that honey, there's a definite sweetness to it.
Yep.
What?
You get that
You-
sweetness
you
right.
know.
Oh yeah, right before the pepper burn kicks in.
Yeah.
Not
Yes.
even close.
Yeah.
There is no.
I think the first sip of it, I was expecting
Yeah.
a little bit of sweet, and then all of a sudden,
You
The
get
heat
that
comes.
little bit of sweetness,
Yep.
and all of a sudden you're like, hot.
Wow. This is something you need to have on the sleigh ride.
Wow. This is pretty crazy.
This has got to be the pepperiest beer I think I've had.
I still would say no. The hottest pepper beer I ever had was a jalapeno ale. It was stupid hot. Remember when we were in LeClaire, Jim, and we were talking to the brewer at that brewery, and his buddy was there, and his buddy's a big pepper guy, and he actually worked with the brewer to make pepper beers.
Okay.
And I told him, I said, yeah, the hottest one I ever had was a jalapeno. He goes, yeah. He goes, I don't know what it is. He goes, you got to be so careful when you use jalapenos in beer. Because he goes, and I'm sure it's probably because you're using maybe more of it. I don't know. But he goes, jalapenos can be not bad or crazy hot. And he goes, and when you brew with them, I think he said you use more, so then it gets really hot. And I'm like, yeah, but I've had ghost pepper beer. And he goes, yeah, but again, you're not. Right. Whatever the reason, the ones that are the hardest to brew with are jalapenos. But this has a pepper burn to it, for sure. But I like it. I mean, do I like it better than these other ones? No. But the honey, I do enjoy that honey sweetness up front before the pepper kicks in.
You can't argue that they say there's honey in jalapenos.
That's honey and
habaneros.
Habaneros.
It's there.
Yeah.
I don't taste any honey.
You don't get that sweet?
I don't get any sweet. I just get my face is on fire. This is not even. I don't taste bourbon.
First thing I get is honey, and then I get the pepper.
You don't get bourbon out of it?
No, I get nothing.
I'll fully admit, I cannot drink one of those.
A full one?
Yeah.
I couldn't either.
I mean,
that would be heartburn in a bottle.
You bet.
And then what do you think when it's going to come out, like when you go to the bathroom?
Oh, it'll be fine.
Well, who's brave enough to go first on their score?
I think it's my turn.
Oh,
I'm gonna go 3.8. I do like it. I honestly, I like the sweetness of the honey. I do like but you know me, Jim. I do like a pepper burn.
come over here. I'll give you a pepper burn right side to head.
But again, I wouldn't drink a full 22-ounce bottle of it. And it's 13.85%, so it's up there. But I do like it, but I mean, the last two beers were definitely better, and if I had to choose, would you want this one or like the last beer? I'd take the last beer first. You know what I mean? But I do enjoy this, and I just think at times that pepper kind of wakes up your senses, and yeah, it's just something different. I don't think we've ever had a pepper. I take that back. We did have the ghost. Yeah. One.
We probably
Space Ghost.
We didn't rate it like we do now.
We rated it.
I think you did. Because I think we were playing cards. I think Toby was here it was like a New Year's Eve.
It was a New Year's Eve, but I don't know if Toby was here or not. Because I do remember a few other people came down, and they each had about this much, and went, yep, no, we don't want any more.
I do think I got to sample it. I wasn't here for the podcast, but yeah, yep.
But yeah, it was, so this is only like the second time I've ever had a pepper beer from them. Very much peppery.
Yeah,
it's very good.
So if you ask me, as you talk about rating beers and flavors and wanting the flavor, I agree with all that. So that they didn't lie about it. The honey's there, the habanero's there. Typically, I would drink a beer to get rid of that pepper burn, and it would work.
Yep.
So I don't appreciate drinking a beer and then having the burn afterwards. But to me, this is kind of a unique standout for Central Waters. And so I'll give them credit for that, and I'll go 3.0.
Okay.
So I think Mike knows that I don't like sour beers.
This isn't sour.
So,
but I see where he's going.
he's laying the groundwork to get to where he doesn't like this one.
And my sour beer ratings are like super low.
Yep.
Because of the mouthfeel.
Right.
And I would caution anyone from drinking this beer that's not ready.
This would be like a chili head or pepper head, whatever they call them.
Oh.
Whether you like peppers, I think they would love it.
I think it might taste good in chili.
Yeah.
But for the craft beer drinker, I don't know. This is like, for me, this is like really hard to drink. I mean, my mouth, I haven't had a drink in 4 or 5 minutes, and my mouth is still on fire. And if you take another drink, it gets hotter. So you can't take a drink to cool off.
Right.
You can take a drink of something else, but this, I think Toby used the right word, unique, because I can't taste beer, I can't taste bourbon, I can't taste pepper, I can't taste anything other than
pepper.
My mouth on fire from pepper. Is that the kind of flavor that I'm looking for? For me, I have to say no. To me, it's too hot. I'm gonna have to go a 2.0.
You know who I think would love this? BK. Brian, he likes spicy, like peppery stuff. I think he'd love this. I like it, but again, yes, I wouldn't drink, even remotely think of drinking like a pint of it or anything like that, because that would mess your guts up. You know?
And I have to give credit to, again, the premise of how you guys rate. Are the flavors there? Is what's
the flavors
on the
are
bottle.
100% here
It's
on
there,
this one.
and I'm a Central Waters fan.
You okay, Jim?
It's a bourbon one, but yeah, that was hard. That was, and I like hot.
I think this is. You might be right, Jim. This could be very close to as spicy as that Space Ghost was.
Because it's getting hotter as it warms up.
I think that Space Ghost was a tick hotter yet, but it was good. But oof, this.
I'm going to push you guys. We got to get to the next one because
okay.
We got to wash this down. I don't know.
You
if Jim's got any more questions.
Jim, or
Yeah, I got one last question for you. Hang on, I got to take a drink. If I want a new glass.
no, I'm good. That lingers.
Okay, here we go. So we're talking barrel-aged beers.
Yes.
That's the background. So what element is the brewmaster trying to eliminate when they're brewing the barrel-aged beer? There's one thing that they want to get out as much as they can. One element.
From the beer, you're saying?
Right. They're brewing the beer, right?
So they're brewing it and they're like trying
They
to
haven't put it into the barrels.
Okay.
But there's something they want to take out as much as they can.
Boy, what would that be?
There's one thing, and once I tell you, you're gonna kick yourself.
I'm sure I will. My brother's probably screaming at me right now, going, "I don't believe you don't know this." What they're trying to remove from the beer before they put it into the barrel.
Yes.
Wow. Well, I'm sure Toby will get this right. So I don't know.
I think you really got to think about the
know.
chemistry of it, Mike.
Yep.
That's where I'm going, I think.
Toby, what do you think?
I think when you break it down and you're trying to pull things out, they're probably trying to get rid of as much oxygen as they can.
Because when you put it into the barrel, it's pulling oxygen through the wood, so it absorbs.
So how do they get the oxygen out of the beer?
That's for another podcast.
They didn't give you that, did they?
That's for another podcast.
Okay, interesting. That's pretty wild.
So on top of the oxygen making way into the beer, microflora, like bacteria, wild yeast, make the way into the beer as well.
Okay.
So it's amazing that a brewer, the entire time they're making the beer, they're trying to keep oxygen out.
How in the world?
And then all of a sudden they put it in a barrel that lets the oxygen come through.
How do you keep oxygen out of it since water is H2O?
Well, no, but I mean, you see how, this container, everything's sealed.
Right.
So there's nothing.
Yeah, once it's in the barrel, then it's...
Right.
Yeah, I get that.
So
okay.
I thought that was...
Yeah, no, that's pretty wild. I had no idea.
Oh, so...
all right.
Oh, so should I give you the points?
No.
All right, so...
I think the Habanero's kicked in. I'm feeling kind of...
I think it's close, though.
It is close.
It's very close, within a point or two.
Mike did get one right. He got the Goose Island one right. So he got a point for that.
I think I had more than just that one, but...
So the total Mike has is... minus 10,000. No, wait, 9,999 because he got that one right.
Okay. And Toby had all of them right.
And Toby got 25,000 points.
Wow.
It was close.
With bonuses and stuff. Yeah.
So it was a close one again. And
you just got to know how to use your resources.
And I thank Mike for trying as hard as he can. I mean, one of these days we're going to get him educated.
One of these days, you guys are going to have to answer for this.
I'm trying to help Mike along as much as I can.
Yes, you do. All right.
So what do we got? What is last?
Our last Central
beer.
Waters beer.
All right.
And this is their 26th anniversary series Imperial Stout, 14.1%. So, Toby, if you want to read it, that's all it said for the title. It didn't say anything else.
No, it's distinctively delicious barrel-aged stout, is brimming with bourbon barrel character, or wound in a rich chocolatey base.
Ooh,
Okay.
So we're not talking peppers in this one.
No, which is good. My tongue is still a little tingly. On fire! Fire! All right.
So this is the
Smells
base.
like your normal.
Is this the base?
Yeah.
So there's no barrel age with this, right? Or is there?
Distinctly, delicious barrel-aged
barrel
stout.
aged.
But we don't know what kind of.
What barrel,
It doesn't say what barrel.
how long, any of that.
brimming with bourbon barrel character, wound round a rich chocolatey base. It's chocolatey.
My tongue is on fire.
I do think after that last one, it's hard.
Yeah, I think the habanero burned off your taste buds. I do get a bourbon flavor out of it, but I don't know what.
But that's it.
Yeah, just a faint chocolate kind of a thing.
Is this their base wine?
I don't know. That is a good question.
But it's their anniversary.
Well, no,
edition.
it can't be their base. Because it's their barrel. It's
right.
barrel aged.
Yeah.
So whatever they put in it.
But it's
their base.
Around a rich chocolatey base.
It finishes chocolatey.
Yeah.
So nothing jumps out at me.
So the hard part, I think, is the Buffalo Trace and the Heaven Hill seemed to me like they had a better smoothness to them.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
This one, it's okay, but it doesn't have the smoothness that those two well-known bourbons had.
Right. I agree with you.
I mean, I don't know, because I don't taste the bourbon as much on this either.
I get a bourbon, but it's not like a distinct.
Right. It's,
you know what I mean? You get that flavor, but it's not quite as.
Those two.
Yeah.
Those really set the. I mean, I don't know if anybody can really reach their flavor, and without even knowing what bourbon barrel this was, it's not easy to describe it.
No,
I mean it's hard to describe the bourbon without knowing.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, it's good. They're good. This is good, but I hear you. I think a couple of the other ones we had may have been a little bit better. So, Jim, it's your turn. What do you think for a score?
The hard part, I mean, I don't think we've seen many of their Central Waters beers just say Imperial Stout. So we know it's a step of, it's not, Imperial means it's like extra stout.
Right.
And then it's bourbon. I wish they would have told us what type of bourbon it was aged in.
Right.
So, because it's not, for me, it's not, the flavor is not there like the Heaven Hill or the Buffalo Trace. So I can't give it a score above them. So I'm going to have to go like a 3.5. I guess I was expecting more, but not knowing, because I wish, there's nothing, it doesn't tell us much. I don't really taste a lot of the chocolate. Probably more of a little disappointing for me than anything.
Okay. Toby?
Yeah, I think I kind of feel the same. I don't know if that habanero is affecting my taste buds, but this is just kind of, it's just there. It's good. I'm probably like a 3-2 on this one.
Okay.
3-2.
It's kind of funny.
You're a little too.
Because I'm still sitting there going, I get, my tongue is still hot. And I do think that.
Like on fire hot or
like
temperature?
Spicy hot. Yeah.
Spicy. Okay. There we go.
So I do agree with you guys. I was going like a 3.5. I do think the flavor's good, but again, it's just kind of I get a little bit of like I do taste like a bourbon taste. Mm-hmm. The finish, I get kind of a hint of chocolate, but it's not. I think they really strove it out for their 25th anniversary and put out some amazing beers.
Yes.
And on the 26th, there's two are very good. And then some of the other variations are a little out there. So it'd be interesting to see what they have for 27. But I still think they were good, but.
Well, since you're talking, do you want to just continue on? Like, give us.
Yeah, I guess
so you're right there. So
my top ones, the Heaven Hill and the Buffalo Trace were the top two for me.
Okay.
I do like the Habanero one.
Yo.
Oh my gosh. That will itch my dries.
Fucking habaneros are coming on.
That's all it took was the habaneros. So we know Jim really likes that.
Oof, sorry.
And it wouldn't quit. That's the worst part of it. It just kept going. Yeah, I mean, again, they were very, very good. But like I said, the top two were the Heaven Hill and the Buffalo Trace. And then I did like the habanero and honestly the raspberry. I didn't mind that, but I wouldn't want a full bottle of the habanero or of the raspberry by any means. But again, they do a good job, and I'm looking forward to next year.
All right, Toby.
Yeah, so I do think that maybe this last one that we had, just kind of because of the order, the habanero one took away a little bit flavor. But the thing about this last one, it just seemed a little bit, not literally flat, as in, but it just was the more mellow, more average, more flat tasting for Central Waters for me. So I think it probably, I think it is a good one, but by far, the Heaven Hill I thought was fantastic, and the Buffalo Trace was good. This is below that, and it's probably my third favorite out of them. The Habanero, again, I give them credit because they said the honey was there, they said the Habanero was there, and it was there. Just not a beer I'd want to drink a lot of.
Yep.
Sampling it, fantastic. So that's kind of where I'm at for my top three, and then I got to mention the Habanero because that is a beer that has what it says.
So if it's on the bottle, that one it's on the bottle and in the bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, just to circle back for you before I do mine, did you put Heaven Hill in one of your possible 2025 beer of the year?
As of today, yes.
Okay, just I wanted to make sure. So for me, I mean, there was two that stood out. The Heaven Hill Buffalo Trace were so smooth. So I mean, they were the right flavors. They were right up there. I mean, both of those for me are in the beer of the year. They may not be the beer of the year, but I think they're in the discussion.
Right, they're at least going to be in our, wrap up.
As of today, for sure.
Yeah.
The other ones, they were okay. Some of the flavors were just too intense. I guess maybe that's the word for me.
They were too spicy.
But yeah, I mean, it was just like for someone just, and I don't know, it might scare away the beginning craft beer drinker.
Oh yeah.
For some of the, but I don't think the Buffalo Trace or Heaven Hill will scare anybody away.
No.
The other ones, you got to be ready when you take a drink because my lips are still burning even though I've had another full drink of the Imperial Stout and I can't shake that burn off in my mouth, which is so it's okay with the food. I don't know if you want that with a beer though. That's my downfall. So I really liked the Buffalo Trace, Heaven Hill. The other ones were good, but those first two were just head and shoulders above. So, Mike, I'll turn it back to you. I don't know what you think.
No, I agree with you.
How you want to wrap it?
I totally agree with you. That's a good way to talk about the habanero, Jim, is that if you're not into peppers at all, you're not going to like that beer at all.
No.
If that would be one of those, But Toby, you're 100% right. Just like I said, I was worried about the honey, but that kind of saved it a little bit. Because you and I both got the sweetness, and then you got the heat. So yeah, I agree, Jim. I think I put down for possible beer of the year. I put down the Heaven Hill,
both of them,
and the Buffalo Trace Rye. Yeah, because those are both very good. The rest of them are still very good, but I think the most controversial one was going to be that habanero one, because I think anybody could try the raspberry one and not be too weirded out about it, but you give that the habanero one to a non-pepper person and they're not going to like it. So
for me, other than that ghost pepper one, I don't think I've ever tasted one that hot.
Well, we'll see, because Toby, when Susie was down in Nebraska, she brought back a build-your-own 6-pack of Nebraska beers.
Okay.
And she brought back a jalapeno beer and a raspberry jalapeno beer.
Ah.
So we'll have you back for that one,
Nice.
hopefully.
Right.
And then there's 4 other beers from Nebraska. Jim and I, none of us have ever had these breweries before. Don't know what they're going to be like, but we also had a spicy pickle in there, just to let you know. So your wife would want to know about that.
She would, yeah.
That's your nickname for her. Or her nickname for you is Spicy Pickle, right?
Yeah, Spicy Pickle, that's right. And I think, and I've mentioned this a couple other times, the fact that you guys are giving a perspective, hopefully people listen and broaden their perception of beers. But the reality is we all have a wheelhouse. We all like certain flavors or dislike flavors. Sour Jim, for an example.
Right.
But the beauty of it is you got to go out and try them.
Right.
Yep.
You can't be scared of it. You got to try it, and grab a beer drinking buddy, go out, try a beer, share it. If you don't like it, you're not out that much. It's all about hanging out with people and enjoying it, and you might find something you discover you like, and hopefully as you listen to your guys' opinion and those of us lucky enough to be a guest, perspective might be broadened, and we can enjoy another day with another beer.
Yep. Because we've talked about it before, but there's so much more to beer than just your mass produced. You know, I mean, there's so many flavors out there that you need to experience it because there's a flavor out there for everybody.
Yes, there is.
You know, and I'm not saying that habanero beer is for everybody, but I mean, there's so many other beers out there. You're going to find something you like, you know, and there's going to be so much more flavor than just your huge beer brands that are just the same, you know. So that's there you go. There's my.
So what are we thinking for the next few episodes? Have you thought about that?
I'm still thinking we'll have to see if we can get,
because I have several Surleys.
We need to do a Surly. That was one of mine because I've got a bunch of Surleys too. And I've got a bunch of the Distal Dustvidanias.
So maybe we do one of those each week?
Yeah. We could do a
Surly
Surly and then we'll do a Distal. I've got 2 years worth of Distal beer for their Dustvidania series. And like I said, Jim, I'll get with you on the Surleys you have. We'll look at mine because we have a bunch of their barrel-aged stuff.
Yes.
You know, and yeah, so we'll wrap those two into, you know, barrel-aged January/February.
Toby, are you up for another possible?
Guys, I'm always open to an invite. I appreciate when I can be here, and I enjoy it. So
well, there you go. You think about it, Jim. It's pretty crazy that we're getting close to 100 episodes. Who would have thought
that we were going to get that far?
That we could have buffaloed this many people to the last 100 episodes.
Well, if anybody knows you guys, they know that you can talk through 100 episodes.
No, Mike can.
Yeah, because we just don't shut up. We just keep talking. So, yeah, we got that coming up in 4 weeks.
4 weeks. Wow. That's right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't say that till we get there.
That's true. That's true.
Well, since I'm the best co-host anyway, so.
Yes, according to Jim@gmail.com.
See, at least somebody said it.
That's right.
So I thought I'd bring that out. So
yes.
Hopefully people keep listening because we're trying to let you know what we see, hopefully you'll go out there, but keep sending us comments, messages, anything.
Like I said, Susie and I are working on a website, and we do have a couple places we're looking at for doing apparel / drinkware, that kind of stuff. That'll show up on our website, and it'll probably be on like our face or YouTube page as well, where you could order that stuff with the NorthwoodsBeerGuy logo on it. So once we know for sure where we're going with that, we will let you know, and then we'd love to see a bunch of people show some support. So Toby, thank you so much for coming down and going through these Central Waters beers. I know you don't like that style of beer.
It was rough, and I'm just glad that I kind of edged you out in the trivia there, Mike.
It was very close.
It was.
Very close. I was only, almost 50,000 points behind.
Just a couple.
Whatever. I don't even go to the judges anymore because they're, locked in Jim's basement. So,
I let them out to judge for this.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Awesome. Well, hey, Jim, thank you so much for providing these beers today. They were very good. It'd be nice if he'd bring out his A-level beers once in a while.
Yeah.
What do you got to do what you got to do? So, all right. Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. And like we always say, we hope your campfire is always warm
and your beers are always cold.
See ya. Thank you for listening to the Northwoods Beer Guy podcast. If you have a question, a comment, or a beer you'd like us to review, please feel free to send us a message at NorthwoodsBeerGuy@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you're on Untappd, look up Northwoods Beer Guy and send a friend request. Until next week, I hope all your campfires are warm and all your beer is cold.